Hey everyone, it's Sunday. How is my good people doing? Today we are on step 3 and I'm just filled and ready to go. Had a good service, our 37 years, us being at our church, and I just thank God. Right now we are on step 3 and I want to give a shout out to a few people. I want to give a shout out to the treatment facilities all over the world. You know, because how y'all help me, you helping somebody else. And for that, I am forever grateful for that. To all the transitional living homes, all the inpatient, outpatient, all the group homes for women's and men's. You know, I take my hat off to you all because, you know, when God step in anything, everything can work. And that I know, I'm a living witness. And to the ones, sincerely, to the ones that lost someone to drug addiction, to overdose. I lost one. I lost a son. To the ones that have to live on in the memories of their loved ones, that's what you have to do. But I give a shout out to you all too, because I know we as peoples that lose a loved one due to overdoses and drug addictions and alcohol addiction, and you know, we left with a bunch of memories. We left with a bunch of what if I coulda. But you know what? I look at it like my son don't have to suffer no more. My son, he just don't. My son was struggling with mental illness, depression, and he had stopped using about 2 or 3 weeks before he died, and I am forever grateful that he's in a place now he don't have to struggle. You know, we still want our loved ones here with us, but whatever it's God's will. That's His will. We can't take that away from Him. Wherever His will was, that's how it is. But let me tell you how grateful we are to the God of our understandings that have enlightened us that this addiction work. You know, this drug addiction. Most of all, give a shout out to the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous, CANA and AA. I thank you for that. I thank you for opening doors for people that's struggling. And for the ones that's struggling, this is what we on here for, to give you some hope, to give you a better understanding, to enlighten you on how addiction works, how it kills, how it steals. And for that, too, that I am grateful. But now we're going to open up a moment of silence for the addicts who still suffer in and outside of these walls. My God, my God, my God, thank you. All right, so now we are on step 3. Moving right along. We are on step 3, and step 3 talks about faith. It talks about the ability to change our lives and to study the steps and understand the steps and do some reminiscing. You know, we made a decision to turn our will in our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. It's not like how you understand Him. It's like, hey, Robin, how you doing? It's like, hey, Stella, how you doing? It's like we understand. We have to get a connection with the God of our understanding to have a conversation, many conversations that I had to have with God, because, you know, I was in a nonsense world. Did nothing make sense to me. All I know I was using, and I had to find a way to grab a hold to something bigger than me that could turn, my decisions over to somebody bigger than me, and to give him the will to work on us, to work on you. And that's what step 3 is about. Step 3 is about a faith. It's all dealing with faith. We have the faith that we can change anything that we don't understand. And that's what I love about recovery. Recovery takes you to places that you didn't even know that mattered. And it do matter. Things do matter in our lives when we coming up on the unknown of our character and we dismissing, our behaviors and our attitudes so we can get high and make us feel better that it's okay to get high. But it ain't okay to get high. The reason why it's not okay to get high, when I made that decision, didn't nobody make it for me. Mama couldn't make it. Could nobody make that for me? When I tell you nobody could make it for me, I was in a danger zone that I needed some understanding of how I was going to beat this disease. And the only way that I can tell you how to be an overcomer is to understand how this disease works. The disease of an addiction is powerful. It gives us the urge to want to keep using. It don't give us the urge to try to find out what's the problem. It don't give us the urge to try to find out what's the solution. It gives us only the urge to use. And that's from the drugs that we done put in our body and the chemicals that's in the drugs get into our body and they wants to take over. And we let them. Because I let them. I'm not even ashamed to tell you, I let the drugs run my life for many, many years. Until I came to an understanding to where I had to make a decision. You heard what I said? I had to make a decision to turn our will. What is your will? Your will is like turn over the control. The will to open up. To will to get a better understanding and let the God of our understanding, who I choose to call my God, he know how to help you work it out. Mama couldn't save me, daddy couldn't save me, my sisters and brothers and kids couldn't save me. They couldn't even help me because they didn't know nothing about addiction. They didn't know how to handle addiction. So therefore I had to turn and make a decision to turn my life, your life, over to the care of God as we understood him. And they said, well, what do you mean that we understood? I mean, look, when you get a connection with God, it's between you and it's between your high power. It's between y'all two. And you have to get that connection to where don't nobody else conversate in that. Don't nobody interfere in that. It's on a personal level between you and God. And you have to deal with God and God alone until you find a place to where you can say, I had to do this before I even surrender. I had to do this to make a decision to let myself surrender into the care of God. So when I made that decision, I was really making it. I was going on faith that I was going to conquer what I was looking for. So many times I've been up under the influence of drugs and alcohol that I conquered on staying high. I conquered on lying. I conquered on stealing. And, I put all my faith in everything else but God. But the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous stepped in my life one day. It made the difference in one day. And what was that one day, Renee? What was that one day that when you went to a meeting that it made a difference? I'm never alone. I'm not by myself in this addiction. It's peoples all over the world that's struggling with drugs and alcohol and any other kind of pills or any other. And then we ain't just got them kind of addiction, cutting addiction. Depression can be an addiction. Mental health, because of the drugs and alcohol, made us change our mood swings, made us change our attitude. It made us change our behavior. It made us change a whole lot of things. It made us look at ourselves. Hey, Tina. It made us look at ourselves. Because, see, you can't run from yourself. You might think you can run from yourself. You might think because you ain't around nobody and people don't see you dibbing and dabbing. You might think that you getting away because you don't go to no meetings or you stop. And then all of a sudden, you want to go, and listen. Don't get me wrong when I say this. I've seen people that just stopped going and then went to church. I've seen that. And church is built on a relationship with God and the foundation to keep him in your life. And that's good. But see, I needed both of them. I couldn't just do it with the church. Church didn't understand this addiction. Couldn't nobody understand. And you know what? My pastor is a recovering addict. And me and him can relate and talk about recovery. Don't you know how good that is if me and him want to sit down and hold a conversation about a recovery because he recovering and I'm recovering? So that makes me feel like I got a personal connection with him too, because he recovering, he struggles, he hurts, he go through things just like I go through. The human flesh don't exempt you from not feeling the pain of loss, disconnection, hurt, determination, let down. We go through all them feelings. And the only difference that me and my pastor and all the other people that's in recovery cannot do is use drugs. We cannot use drugs whatsoever. And that's the change that came into our lives. Because everything that took us to a point to where we needed a drink and we needed help and we needed some understanding. And all that brought me to the faith of the willingness of God to make a decision. Now I'm making this decision, God. Now you're going to have to deal with me. You're going to have to deal with my everyday mood. You're going to have to deal with this is hurting me because I can't pick up a drink. I can't use. The way I'm feeling, God, I cannot use. If I use, I would die. If I use, I would keep chasing it and keep chasing it until I die. So I cannot use. I cannot use. Everybody else around me didn't have to struggle. They was going through things, but they had something different they could do. They can pick up. They could do what I've been doing for years, and it got me in a crossfire. And they can, now that I'm clean, now that I have turned my will and made a decision to give God all of me, not half of me. Half ain't gonna work. In order to make work this program, you got to get a God of your understanding that you on a personal level with, and you're going to see the faith stepping in. All this is about faith, giving up to get something. And what I needed was some faith. What I needed was an atmosphere of hope. What I needed was to learn how to let go. And let me tell you about letting go. When you dealing with some family members or you dealing with cousins and mamas and daddy that still drink, I know friends right now that they stopped using, but their mom and daddy still drinking and using, and they allow themselves to be around that because they done got themselves stronger to where they can understand that no matter what happens, if your mama didn't see how it messed you up, why she can't see it's messing her up or him up. So it come to a point in my life, we were just having a conversation with one of my friends. And she said, Renee, I'm not as strong as you. I'm still struggling. Just a little while ago, not even 30 minutes ago. She said, I'm still struggling. I don't know how to let go. I said, because you haven't got a connection with God, because when you get a connection with God, He gonna deter you. He gonna show you how to let go. He gonna show you how to walk away from things that's just too powerful for you, or too hurtful for you, or too painful for you. You know, and I had to come all my life, you know, when I was using. Man, I remember sitting in the table, got food on the stove, and burn it up because I choose to get high. I'm just talking about some things that just never left me, how I neglected my faith, how I neglected my brain, how I neglected my soul, the spirituality part of my soul, how I neglected all just so I could use. Have fun, kick it, drink today, drink tomorrow, drink today, drink tomorrow, use today. And then it became where I use today and live today so I can use for tomorrow. Insanity has stepped in because it took over. And that's that addiction of drugs and alcohol. See, addiction is supposed to do just what it does. Detour you, hurt you, destroy you, make you feel you in denial at all times, break you. Man, and I went through that. I held on to something that was very harmful for me. And I got family members right now that still, you know, they smoke their weed, they do their drinks, but, you know, I have to still maintain to be clean. So when I made a decision, you know, I didn't just make it in that day. It took me a long time. To tell you the truth, whether you believe it or not, I was making a decision while I was getting high. Because, see, I was a praying addict. When I got high, I always felt like something was missing. Because I was brought up in the house of God. I was brought up in the spirituality. So it says, we made a decision. I was kind of making a decision while I was getting high, but I didn't manifest it. I didn't stick to it. But me praying while I was getting high, if that wasn't something crazy, but call me what you will, but that was. How can you be using and drinking and getting high, still using, but you don't want to die at the same time? And that's how my life was. Lord, I don't want to die. I don't want my kids to find me like this. I don't want to be overdosed. I don't want to. Okay, so then the God of my understanding had to say, well, do something about it. We can all cry wolf. Do something about it. At that moment, I had made a decision that I needed help. I made that decision in the spirit of me being high. Why did I pick being high? Because I knew then if I made it and I wasn't high, I wasn't going to stand on it. If I made that decision that I'm high to go to the doctor in the hospital and turn myself in, I was never probably going to do it. So I did it. Best gift I ever gave myself, best gift that ever came into my life was the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous. And when it says we made it, don't just say I, it say a bunch of us, millions of us, 1,000 or millions of us made a decision to turn our will over to the care of God. Over to the care of God. What, God, you gonna take all this? I can turn all this over to you? You mean I got a daughter that loves me when she wanna love me? I can turn that over to you? I got a son and daughter that act like they scared of me, and I never knew what it was. Maybe because I was boisterous, and maybe because I was strict, but I can turn it over to you. Maybe, God, I didn't hurt my kids and I let some things happen due to my addiction and they still holding on to it, but I can turn that over to you. Is that what you tell? Everything in my life that has kept me searching and bound and hurt. I can turn it over to you. I can make a decision to keep carrying it, or I can make a decision for you to come into my life and help me to deal with how do I work? How do this work? How do I deal with it? Why am I here? What do I need to do? I had to learn all this. Addiction is real. And if you think addiction ain't real, watch your loved ones, watch your cousins, watch your mom and daddy. They can't go without it. I couldn't go without it. I might go 2 or 3 days, get so sick of using and drinking, and I had to take a break, and then I'm back to using again. I know that I had to make a decision to turn me over to the person that was going to handle everything. And guess what? It wasn't easy. It was not easy. Because some things I wanted to let go, and some things I wanted to hold on to, and some things I wanted to just don't walk away from. But let me tell you something, the best gift that the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous had gave me, the best gift that Step 3 had to show me, is that I had to walk on faith and not by sight. Because see, my sight was telling me, you know, everybody holding on to stuff I did, and everybody want me to fail, and everybody don't want to see me grow, and everybody is looking to see when I'm going to stumble and fall. I had to walk away. Now walking away going to cause some pain too. Because when you love somebody, it's going to cause pain too. But what's better? Wisdom and learning how to walk away, or carrying the pain and still staying in the way and still getting mistreated? Which better? Better for me, stay away. You know, I realize you don't love me as much as I love you. That's what it happened for me. I love the drugs more than I love myself. That's why I let the drugs come in my life, and it made me feel real shameful. It made me feel like nobody loved me, nobody cared. You know, I was on that pity pot watch, that pity pot. And I had to learn how to get off the pity pot. Because ain't nobody going to give me what God going to give me. Ain't nobody going to give me what I need. Ain't nobody going to tell me that ain't nobody gonna tell me something that's gonna help me. Did nobody tell me I've been using all my life? And I be drinking, you know, we are dressed up alive. We know how to put our makeup on and get dressed up and act like ain't nothing bother us. And I used to go and smoke crack, and I did it all and go around people like I was lucky, go happy. And I had to put on this pretend face. I had to act like I know. That's why I said, man, if they was paying me to be an actor, I would have won, because I know how to act. The drugs teach you how to become multiple other people's, and it teach you how to lie and what lie to come up with and what best lie to tell so you can get one more. But when we made that decision to go in treatment, or to tell somebody else we had a problem, or to talk to your doctor, or talk to your pastor, or talk to whoever. But I made that decision to turn my life over to the will of God. There wasn't no plan. See, when you come into something like this, you can't play. You know, I've been playing with myself for years. We've been smoking and drinking and getting high and doing the ugly things in our life for a long time. And somehow or another, God had favor on us. Somehow or another, we didn't die like other people's died. Somehow or another, we still here through the grace of God. And I realized one thing. If I hadn't have made a decision to turn my life over to the care of God, I wouldn't have been here today. I would not be talking to y'all today. I see my sisters on, Selena, Evangelist getting green. She on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, y'all. Go get blessed. Evangelist Selena Green, go get blessed for the spiritual soul that needs to be fed. Tuesday at 7 o'clock, I'm her biggest fan, and she always give me hope, faith, and she always help me understand the way God works and why he works and how he works. So if you want to get blessed on Tuesday, go and give her a shout out for me and see how it bless you. Anyway, I had to turn something over that's been messing me up for years. And I didn't know how. I did not know how. Until one night, I told y'all this before, when God told me to go get the yellow pages, and I heard that it was a treatment facility at Northwest General Hospital at that time. And he told me to turn the page. That's why I know I got an awesome God. Because when you seeking and looking, and you need answers, you need help, you need to learn how to make a good decision for yourself, he'll come right to you. He'll come just because you can't see him, that don't matter. But he'll come to you as an ear or a thought. Came right to me. Turn that yellow page, the first page, God knows I'm not lying. The first page I'll turn, it says Northwest General Treatment Facility for Drugs and Alcohol. And I went. And that was the best thing I did in my life. I was so full. When you become full, that ain't even a bucket is enough for you to cry out. A bucket can't even carry all the tears you feel inside. A bucket can't even carry all the years and years that you felt hurt, mistreated, damaged, just hurt. And I realized that was keeping me high. Things that had been done to me in the younger years and things that I had created in the middle years had been messing with me. So I turned to drugs and alcohol for help. They sure enough didn't give me no help. It gave me losses. It gave me shame. It gave me disrespect for myself. It gave me an opportunity to keep hurting myself over and over again, lying to myself over and over again, hurting other people over and over again, saying I was going to do something and never have a word, never told the truth. Always had to find another reason why I can't stop using. Step 3 helped me. It saved me. Step 3 was a faith builder for me. I had went through step 1 and step 2, but when I got to step 3, I'm ready now. I'm ready. I went through step 1, told me I had to surrender, told me I can't. 2 said, 2 said, I gotta let him. I gotta let him come into my life. I'm tired of living this fake life. I'm tired of not even liking me. I'm tired of going in the mirror and I see how everybody has mistreated me and I have mistreated a lot of people. I can't get on that pity party that I'm sorry. Y'all ain't ready for me. Y'all, I'm not even ready for me. So I got to deal with me. He can't, I can, so I let him. Step 2, 1, he can. Step 2, I can't. Step 3, so I let him. So when step 3 came into my life, it was just building me up from step 1 and step 2 to get to a place to turn everything over. I ain't just talking about the real things that was hurting me. I'm talking to the things and everything that bothered me. I done went through 3 husbands, all due to addiction. And that's why I'm so grateful that I'm still here. You know, this recovery has taught me how to be still, keep a balance. Don't get anxious. Learn how to be patient. And that's something I could never do. Learn how to get patient and get a better connection with God and use him like you ain't never used him before. He's right there. He's waiting. The door is open, but it's our will to come in and let him in to change our lives and see what he can bring to the table. And boy, what did he bring to the table? Hey, Frazier. What did my God bring to the... Man, he brought me so much to where when I started getting a sponsor and I went to the meetings, you know, I didn't nobody tell me. I ain't know nothing about a 12-step program. I ain't know nothing about nothing when it came to this disease of an addiction. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. But I told you the greatest gift I got is when I went to the first meeting. And they said, Renee, how did the meeting go? Renee, you like it? And I just boo-hooed and cried. Because actually, I was hiding from people that I didn't want them to know that I got high, that I was a user, that I was a crackhead, I was a dope fiend. I didn't want people to know that. And I walked into a room that was recovering just like me, that was trying to stop all their behaviors and all their ways just like me, trying to get off. Man, that was the best feeling in the world. I'm like, God, you know what? You don't never go wrong. You told me to turn that page at 4 o'clock in the morning. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, I was in Northwest General Hospital. Boy, you know, things can change. Hey, Tyra, things can change in the middle of a moment that could either better our lives or be a devastation in our lives. So step 3, when I made that decision, I made a good one because I'm turning it over. You know, I'm trying to carry everybody. I'm trying to do things for everybody. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to be a mother to my kids. I'm trying to go to work. I'm trying to fulfill my friends and everybody else's needs and nurture everybody else. But when I turned my will and my care over to God, he took off. And he helped me take off with him. He told me, Renee, stop trying to handle the big stuff. Give me the big stuff. Stop trying to figure out why this person, you know, can't forgive you, or why this person holding on to something, how this person want to continue to use you, but you can't because I'm clean. Say, that's too big for you. Give it to me. Why do you think they call me God? Why do you think I'm all over in the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous book? Why do you think that they come to me for answers and questions? Because I'm the one. He said, I'm the man. That's how I had to talk to God. You know, and what I love about God, I can go to him ghetto. I can go to him in crying. I can go into him in sincere prayer. I can go to him in butt naked truthful. I ain't got to hide from this man. I ain't got to lie to this man. I ain't got to tell this man when I know I'm in trouble. He already know. I ain't never going back. I hate this disease. And I tell people, and I say this to me all the time, I hate this disease because when I hate something so bad, I stay away from it. When I hate how you treat me, I'm going to stay away from you. When I hate how you have just used me in your convenience, I know how to walk away. I stay away from the drugs and alcohol. And also, I'm scared that if I pick up again, let me tell you this little secret. I'm scared that if I pick up again, it's over. I won't make it back. My heart can't take no more of that. I'm so scared, so I'm going to hate this disease. And if I hate you, I'm going to keep saying I hate you. I'm going to hate you to the day I die because you never did nothing for me. You destroyed my family. You took over my job. You helped me hurt myself. You wasn't my comforter. You wasn't nothing to me. All you was a fake liar. So now I hate you. I can hate that. But I had got to where I hated people. I had got to where I hated a whole bunch of stuff. And God helped me with that. You know, God, how can you walk around and hate somebody when you want the same God of my understanding to forgive you for what you done? And you done way, way more stuff than I have done. But see, I can't measure hurt. I'm not even on that level. It's just I'm not getting to nobody's character. I told a lady when we was at church, at service, when I told her, I said, look, she said, Renee, you stronger than me, and I just let stuff get to me, and I shouldn't let stuff bother you. I said, you ain't there yet. I said, you ain't got there yet. You ain't got that personal relationship with God like I did. You ain't there yet. I just tell her straight up, you falsifying stuff. You ain't got there, because see, when you give it to God like I did, it's already worked out. You ain't even got to figure it out. When I made the decision to turn my will and my life, my totally life, over to the care of God, I done it. People say, oh, you changed. I can say, I don't care what you can see. I didn't change for you. I didn't get clean for you. I didn't fix my life up for you. For the first time, I can tell y'all, I did everything for me. Because can't nobody else save me but me. Can't nobody restore me but God. Can't nobody else comfort me and hold me but God. And once I figured that out, I cast everything to him. Here, God, here I am. I made this decision. I really made it a long time ago, God, but I was still sitting on it. I wasn't ready. But I'm ready now to turn everything that used to get to me, God, take it over. Everything I used to carry to bed at night and couldn't sleep and walk the floor, take it over. I don't want to ever feel the way I felt using drugs and alcohol again. Lying to myself, hiding from myself, hiding from people, depressed, isolated, going to sleeping with different men to get my choice of drugs, walking through the alleys at night, walking in my car and driving my car and looking for some dope. I ain't never going back to that area ever again. Almost killed me. So to show God how grateful I am and how I ain't just the one that want to thank you when things is good, I'm telling you, God, to show you that I'm very serious about turning my will and life over to care of you. I ain't never using no more, no matter what happens. And anytime you can I bury 4 peoples that I know that truly love me, and I talk about us all the time because I keep them alive. I don't want them to die on me. They dead physically, but spiritually, I want to keep them alive for me, not for you, for me. I talk to my son, I talk to my boyfriend, I talk to my goddaddy, and I definitely talk to my mom. I was sitting in service today talking to my mom, and seemed like she was sitting right in front of me and giving me a word of encouragement. I miss my mom. I miss my son. But I also got to live. Because I got other loved ones. But even if I didn't have nobody else, I still got to live for me. I don't want to cheat myself no more. You should never want to cheat yourself no more. Everything that was taken from you, everything that hurted you, everything that every person that thought you was beneath them, you ain't got to feel that way no more. I ain't got to take no drugs to get through another night. I ain't got to pop no pills because I'm in pain. I'm talking about the pain you can't see. So we use pain pill for the pain you can't see. And that's the dangerous pain, because that pain that you cannot see on me is the pain that I carried every day, that kept me getting high, that kept me taking a drink, that kept me not being focused. That's an unseen pain that you didn't see on me. Why didn't I see it on you? I knew how to cover it up. I knew how to dress it up. I knew how to act a certain way so you wouldn't see that I was drowning inside of me. I don't ever want to get that way. Ever. And when I say that with sincerely. Chasing drugs, chasing pills, drinking alcohol. I was a dressed up liar. And you think I ain't grateful? Do y'all actually think none of us should be grateful for everything that we went through, for every darkness that we seen, for every alley that we drove? See, people don't understand until you've been an addict, until you've been out there in them streets, until you've been doing some things that you know that wasn't right, until you've been in the danger zone, you don't know what I'm talking about. Only way I can get on here and talk to y'all about drugs and alcohol because I've been there, done that. I come too far. And I'm forever be grateful. I'm going to forever stay clean. I'm never going to use. Because see, all the failures and all the mishap of how I was hurt, all the pain that I carried, brought me so much strength until I can take anything now. When I tell you I can take it, all the failures, all the things that I didn't get right, all the things that I didn't do right, all the darkness that was in my life, everything that I done to myself, everything that I didn't do for myself, all the pain, all the hurt made me stronger. You don't know that until you done went through it. You don't know that you can conquer. I'm an overcomer. I can overcome anything. I don't carry hurt no more. I don't even allow it to stay in my area. I just turn it over. And she told me today, how do you do that? See, you got to have a connection with God. You got to believe and have the faith that what you asking God to do, he going to do. If you ain't got no faith in step 3, then you ain't going to do step 3. But if you got the faith in step 3, and the conquerness and the surrenderness and the letting go and you know that you are powerless over drugs and alcohol and that your life have come unmanageable from 1 to 2. Now you on 3. 3 is all about faith. Having the faith to do his will. Having the faith to do your will. Having the faith to make you change. Having the faith to change anything you want to change. Because let me tell you something. You can let people hold you hostage. You can let people tell you shouldn't do this. I'm so glad. This is one thing I'm glad. I'm so glad that my sister went on and got her own broadcast. Because, my sister was being led to, people look at her, she want to be stuck in one place. But the same God you serve is the same God I serve. And I serve a God that will open up many doors for millions of people in their life that just trust them and have faith in them. And I told her, no, wait on no man. You wait on no man. Whatever God told you to do, that's what you do. Because everything that God tells you to do in your life, even when he come in your life and tell you, even some of the things that the unseen that we didn't know that was finna happen. And the angels and the God of our understanding got in our way. And we don't even know the times we could have died, but he choose not to let us die. He don't know. You don't know all the times we could have overdosed and died and been laying somewhere, but he didn't. Because he wanted us to get the purpose of our lives. He wanted us to go and help other individuals. He wanted us to know he the man. He the man that ain't gonna never forsake you or deny you or hurt you. All he gonna do is carry you. That's why it was okay for me to make that decision. It was okay. I love God more than anything in the world. And I got 3 kids. And I love him more than I do my 3 kids. Because he never failed me. Everything that God had told me to do, even when I was in recovery, still in recovery, and I got the recovery house, he led me. He told me what to do. Renee, go get you a recovering house. You've been cleaner long enough. Go open up you some recovery house. And every time I open up one, he said, I got another one. Open up one. I got another. I said, oh my God, Lord, I got 14 houses. How what I'm going to do with it? He said, do what you've been doing. Carry the message. Carry the message to the addicts that's still struggling. To the addicts that want to get clean like you. Carry the message. And everything seems like, right now, everything that I ask God for, no matter what, and it don't have to be my needs. It can be just a want. It don't have, God, can you just, no, Lord, God, please, don't let me carry this. I'm sick of this. I'm tired of carrying this. Renee, that's what you got me for. I'm the man. You got me for that. So I turn everything. Well, you know what? When your life become at peace, you done something right. That don't mean we won't get some bad news along the way. That don't mean that we won't lose some loved ones. But I'm telling you, my life is at peace. And it's so at peace. You know, I sit down and I'm saying, dang, I worked all my life. 45 years. I worked since I was, really when I was 14. Well, I started when I was 14. But I worked from the age of 14 until 2012. All my life. And you don't know how good it feels. Then you can just go to bed and sleep as long as you want to, do what you want to. I worked all my life. I retired, got my own pension. It's just such a beautiful thing because I could have been dead. He could have not carried me, but he had a purpose for me, and it was for me to find out what the purpose was. And my purpose is to never use again. My purpose is to help another individual. Oh, because you're going to get around some people. Don't tell me you won't. You're going to get around people that still drinking, family members still addicts. I didn't have family members that died to the addiction. I didn't have family members that, that got clean. But let me tell you something. Anything God touched is worthy. He opened my mind and the willingness to let go of all thoughts that wasn't good thoughts. I keep my aerial just like that. If I meet somebody and you negative for me, I just have to move around. I can't handle it. Because see, I damaged myself years and years ago. Until, like I told you, until when I gave my God all of me, he took all of that. And said, Renee, you ain't got to worry. You learning, girl. You learning, girl. You ain't got to deal with that. You better than that. Just keep doing what you're doing. And long as I hear him tell me to keep doing what I'm doing, I know I'm on the right track. When I made a decision, that was the biggest thing I ever did in my life. To want to give everything up to the care of God and keep that relationship with him. I got a relationship with God all day, every day. Talk to him in my truck. Talk to him in my room. Talk to him I got a relationship. I tell him everything. It's no secret. I tell him everything. If I meet a guy, God, what you think? Show me. He seemed to be okay, but I'm going to give you time to talk to me about this person. See, I never did that before. If you winked your eye, I jumped. If you told me I looked good, I was there. If you said some nice things for me, I ended up in a bed that I didn't belong. That's why I know my life has changed. Ain't nowhere in the world you can be living and using drugs and alcohol and you can't see all your mistakes and all the things that you thought was failures, all the things that you thought went wrong in your life. But all them things that was happening for you was just a builder to build you up, to make you stronger, to make you realize that you are somebody, to make you realize that God didn't create no junk. Everything that the God of my understanding made was good. We choose to pick up the ugly bad. We choose to pick that up. But once you start, and when I made the decision to turn my life over to Him, it was such a beautiful feeling I can't even explain to you. Because when I went to my first meeting, this ain't no lie, when I went to my first meeting at Northwest, when I came out of treatment, he was the first place I went was back to Northwest. They had a meeting there downstairs. Sterling White was my counselor. It looked like I had lifted about 100 pounds of weight off me. I was boo-hooing and crying because I had a lot to boo-hoo and cry for. Because I didn't want to go back to use again. I was scared. I was scared. I had let myself down so many times. We let ourselves down so many times. And then when we get to that point of getting 6 months or a year, the cravings get bad. You know, Satan wants us to get back to using again. I got scared. But then I just talked to God and said, God, I don't want to use no more. I have too much to lose and everything to gain. So I need to keep the gain and don't worry about what to lose. I got to save my life any way I can. And if you got drugs or you dealing with drugs or you and alcohol, well, that's not a part of who I am. I'm on a whole new level. I'm on a whole new level. You know, and my sister said, you always get your nap. You always take your me time. That's the gift. Because if you don't get your me time to get away from everybody, it's funny how I can get in a car. Sometimes I end up at a movie. Or sometimes I just go in the store. Or sometimes I just go out to eat. You know, I went out to eat yesterday, and it was a young, he's an older guy, and he was saying, why are you out here alone eating? And I kind of had to think for a minute. What, people don't do that no more? People don't go out, people don't take themselves out to eat, just them and themselves and God, and go out to eat. And he said, you know, you sitting there all by yourself, you smiling. And I said, you ain't never had no me time. Why is you by yourself? He said, oh, I was waiting on somebody. He said, but look like she done stood me up. I said, okay. The person I was waiting on, he been here before I got here. And he said, who's that? I said, I think you should know him because you up in age. I said, the God of my understanding. And he bust out and started laughing. He thought that was so cool. But I was dead serious. God knew I was going to go to this restaurant before I got there, and that seat was going to have my name on it. And I was going to sit there. See, I ain't looking for nothing. I ain't looking for no man. And it's the best feeling in the world. Because I used to think I always had to have somebody in close to me or around me. You know, you've been married 3 times. Now I'm single. And now I'm single, and I'm enjoying that because now I can look back and see the things that I didn't do right and the things that made me build and be a better person than that I am today is because of everything I thought I'd done was a failure, but it wasn't a failure. It was we had to go through that to learn a lesson that we are greater than what we think we are. We are greater now. I don't like no negativity around me. I don't like being hurt. So I stay away from hurt because hurt kept me getting high. See, you can do what you want to, say what you want. I got a family member that's so disrespectful to me, and I had this person. But I learned how to let go. Because so many times you have created things for me that kept me getting high. And I have to recognize the pain when I feel it. I have to recognize it when I see it. It's no more pain for me. I might can't see my grandkids. But it's worth my life, man. I'm not letting you drag me where you at. I'm healing. I have healed. I'm not doing that no more. All my life I spoiled my kids and gave them this, and that. And for the first time in my life, I've learned how to give it to me. And I ain't gonna allow nobody to take it away from me. I can go to sleep at night with peace. I made a decision for you to take all them sleeping nights that I used to lose. Give it back to me. And he did. Because now I can go to bed. Just go to sleep. Sitting there watching TV. I was reading a book, trying to watch the TV, and woke up, and it was 7 o'clock this morning. And it's just such a good feeling, because if you ain't never been in the atmosphere of using drugs all day and night and running the streets and lying and manipulate, you couldn't even comprehend what I'm talking about. So everything that was ugly about me in the past is so beautiful about me now. I ain't never using again. I don't care who you. I ain't struggling no more. I'm not struggling no more. Everything is beyond my means. Everything is good. Health is good. My house is good. My cars and trucks is good. My financial is fine. I ain't gonna say it's all good, but it's fine. I ain't went hungry. I ain't had to sleep with nobody to get one more. I haven't had to be Patti LaBelle and Janet Jackson the next day. I ain't had to falsify no faces. I didn't have to build up no other characters. It is what it is. You know, I got this suit said it is. So when I went to the doctor, I had this suit on and said, it is what it is. And my doctor started laughing. She said, Renee, you're right. It is what it is. We can't change people, places, and things. We can't change the way a person thinks. We can't change what a person is holding on to. We can't. Only thing we can change is ourselves. Hey, Latrice, only thing. Dale, everything we can change for ourselves. Man can't give me nothing. But the man I got now, the God of my understanding, can give me everything. He have opened the door for me I can actually be free. I'm free off drugs, free off alcohol. I'm free off everything. And if I can get free, y'all can get free. You have to get a personal relationship with God as you understand Him. Can't nobody give it to you. Can't nobody do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. And ain't you worthy of trying to change for yourself instead of walking in the shoes of trying to please somebody else? Why don't you try to please yourself now? If anything that's harming you, anything that's not good for you, you got to learn how to let it go. And walking away is the best way I can tell you how to do it. Can't hold me hostage. Drugs had me hostage for over 30 years. Can't hold me hostage no more. Alcohol no more. Pills no more. Can't hold me hostage no more. I gave you 30 years of my life. And God done blessed me with over 35 of what I had. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. I'm in that grateful mode every day. I ain't got nothing that's hindering me. You know, I went through a few hurdles, lost my mom, lost my son, lost my old man. You know, I went through a few hurdles. Broke down hurdles. But I had a sponsor and I had a God God took me through all that to go bury my mother, to bury my son, to bury my old man. Yeah, I had and my godfather. So I had a way out. I used the same person then as I use every day today, and that's the God of my understanding. I hope that I've encouraged you. I hope you got a better understanding. Go to step 3, read step 3. And it's all about faith. It's always building your faith up. It's all about learning who you are and what you need to do and what shoes to walk in. And I ain't walking in nobody else's shoes. I'm walking in my own shoes this time. I done walked in many pairs of shoes, and guess what? It wasn't mine. Walked in many pairs of shoes that did not even belong to me. But the shoes that I walk in today are my own. And for that, I am grateful. Thank you. The week is gone past. We finna hit another week. Y'all have to stay safe out here. Things is going. I told you my 2 little boys. Well, one of them real tall, but I told you my 2 boys got robbed for their McDonald's meals the other night. It ain't funny, but I'm glad God brought them back home. But you know, kids is robbing kids. And it's like 4 or 5 of them, robbed my boys of their $5 meal, McDonald's food, where they had like $10 a piece. So they bought them, took all their little stuff. Their little heart was so hurt. They came in the door and they was just so hurt. And I'm like, okay, well, what did y'all do? Remember, and said, well, I stood up to them. I said, that was the wrong thing to do. Let them have your food. Come on, let's go get some more. And I want you to know why you getting some more. Why you getting some more? I don't know, because they took my food. Nope. I said, you getting some more food because you made it back home. To let you know, if somebody wanted to rob me and take all the jewelry, y'all know how I am about jewelry. I got plenty of it. They can have all of it. They can have it. The life that I worked so hard to get to where I'm at, I'm not giving that up. So for you all, if anybody haven't told you that they love you, tell them Renee said that they love you. Be nice and kind to someone today. If you can't say nothing positive or nice, shut your mouth. If you can't say something nice or good to somebody, shut your mouth. The God of my understanding is good. Everything he touches good. We went through step 3. Step 4. For next Sunday, we made a searching and fearless more inventory of ourselves. Now that one is good for me. I say that for every one of them, don't I? But it is. I tell you, I love the 12-step program. Anybody, even if you ain't using drugs, anybody can be addicted to something. Everybody needs this 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. Addiction is an addiction. Not just alcohol and drugs. I had a personality addiction, a prostitute addiction. I had a lying addiction. I had a behavioral problem addiction. I had so many addictions and I didn't even know I had all them addictions. I was just focusing on the drug addiction. But I found out for myself I had many addictions that I had to deal with. God bless you. I've enjoyed this hour, a little over an hour with y'all. And stay safe. I'll see y'all next week. Friday night, 8 o'clock, and we'll talk about some different things. I always pick 3 topics out of my jar to talk about, and that's what I'm going to talk about. Sunday is at 2 o'clock, and we'll be on step 4. So thank y'all so very much. Y'all have a good Friday, Sunday, and let your week be meaningful. Not to nobody else, just to yourself. Because see, if you give it to yourself, that means you're going to give it to somebody else. Bless you. God keep you. Have a good night. I do this because I love people and I love my recovery. Good night, y'all.